announced right here is lowering the top rate in return for eliminating deductions in special interest. And that's what we're committed to.
What a crazy day in Washington, and our next guest had a front row seat. Good morning, ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
Good morning. There was a lot going on yesterday. The White House is juggling so many issues. That's not even to say what's happening up on Capitol Hill. But yesterday here at the White House, the big thing was the tax reform principles plan that the White House laid out. This isn't legislation. It was a one-page bullet point list, and there is a lot of work to be done. And, of course, there's a lot of skepticism that it even could get done because there are concerns among not just Democrats but Republicans of how this plan could be paid for and what this would do to the deficit, which could have significant implications.
There's also probably a lot of sacred cows in this that are being gored. Any reaction or lobbyists or sort of trade groups that have spoken about how they were sort of left out of the game?
You know, I think the game has really just started, so nobody's been left out yet. The White House made it clear this is the starting point for negotiations. And at one point they laid out this timeline of trying to get this done by August. Now they're saying we'd love to see it get done by the end of the year, but even that is really difficult because now, as you say, all the special interests jump in and everybody's got a pet project, and this is going to start getting really bogged down. And what was a one page of bullet points is going to turn into a massive, massive project. You know, I think another question that the White House really couldn't answer is like how this impacts just the average typical family. There's a lot of concepts thrown out there, but not a lot of details of impact and implications.
Yeah, there was a question, Karen Travers. A lot of deductions were going by the wayside, but I was confused because they said the deduction for retirement, 401k money, and things like that was going to be and then was not going to be. Did we get any clarification on that?
I don't know the answer to that. Sorry. We'd have to look into that.
Okay. Now, on the same day that they unveiled this bullet point for the largest tax overhaul ever, Donald Trump alluded to the fact that he wanted to leave NAFTA or not leave NAFTA.
So this was reporting that came out in a couple of different publications saying that administration officials were saying that the president might sign an executive order to start the process of pulling out of NAFTA. That, of course, sends off quite a chain reaction. We were not even able to confirm that. Officials would not say that that was something being considered. And then by the end of the night, the president had spoken on the phone with the president of Mexico, the prime minister of Canada. He says today in a tweet that they asked him to renegotiate rather than terminate, so he agreed. But, of course, leaving open the option that if it's a bad deal for the U.S., he says that then it would be terminated. But and you wonder if this was a head fake by somebody trying to put this out there, and then it gets Trudeau and Peña Nieto on the phone. But we're basically in the same place we were yesterday, which is the administration wants to renegotiate NAFTA.
Right. Did they explain why they were short on details with this tax plan?
They're saying that this is the start of the conversation, and these are principles that they want to lay out because they're working with the House and Senate. So they weren't going to come out and say, here is the legislation. Also because it's really hard to do, and they haven't had that much time to do it, so it's not surprising that they don't have a detailed bill ready to go because there's still a lot of input that they're going to need from Capitol Hill.
They want to take away or at least reduce or take away or cut the Obamacare taxes on some, but also they want to do away with the deduction that Americans take for health expenses. Anybody make mention of that?
You know, I don't think we were really focused on the White House reaction to this and what Capitol Hill was saying. I mean, there's going to be certainly tons of reaction from interest groups, but that wasn't something that I was doing yesterday.
Yeah, no, it was
17 other stories. Oh, by the way, North Korea, there was a briefing on that yesterday with all of the senators down here at the White House.
Your head should be on a swivel, Karen Travers.
Yeah,
it is
always lots of coffee.
Make sure you're making notes. I can't wait to read your book when it's all said and done.
Thank you. At least I know somebody will buy it.
There you go. Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. Thanks for checking in. 6:56, Big 550 KTRS.